Distinguidas autoridades, apreciados colegas, invitados especiales, señoras y señores, muy buenos días. Es un honor para mí darle la más cordial bienvenida a esta Conferencia de Geoinformación 2025, que hoy inicia formalmente sus actividades en la hermosa ciudad de Mérida, Yucatán, un territorio donde convergen historia, conocimiento y visión del futuro. Good morning. It's an honor to welcome you all to the Conference on Geoinformation 2025, beginning today in the beautiful city of Mérida, Yucatán. Permítame presentar con el mayor respeto a quienes integran el presidium de esta ceremonia de inauguración. Dr. Deren Lee, miembro honorario de ISPRS y profesor emérito de la Universidad de Wuhan en China. El profesor Lee es una de las figuras más influyentes en la historia de la geomática. Su destacada trayectoria ha marcado hitos a nivel internacional en mapeo móvil, percepción remota, sistemas de información geográfica, inteligencia artificial y aprendizaje automático aplicado a la información espacial. Como miembro de la Academia de Ciencia y de Ingeniería en China, ha sido un pilar en el avance de la disciplina. Su liderazgo y aportaciones científicas han sido reconocidas con los más altos honores, incluido el Premio Nacional de Ciencia y Tecnología de China en 2024, así como su nombramiento en 2012 como miembro honorario de ISPRS, la máxima distinción de esta organización internacional. Dr. Orhan Altan, presidente del Comité Permanente para la Reducción del Riesgo de Desastres de las reuniones del International Science Council ISPRS, distinguido académico, ingeniero civil de renombre internacional, reconocido por sus contribuciones en fotogrametría digital, sistemas de información geoespacial, gestión de riesgos y desastres. El doctor Altan es autor prolífico, profesor invitado en universidades de todo el mundo y ha ocupado posiciones de gran liderazgo, incluyendo la presidencia de ISPRS y cargos directivos de la ICSU. Doctora Ilsea Santos Ferreira. La doctora Ferreira es presidenta actual de CERPER Internacional para el periodo 2024-2026 y una reconocida especialista en observación de la Tierra, teledetección y geotecnologías. Durante su trayectoria en el Instituto Nacional de Investigaciones Espaciales de Brasil, lideró importantes iniciativas internacionales de formación y desarrollo de capacidades, colaborando con organismos como GEO, CEOS e ISPRS. También ha impulsado estrategias innovadoras de educación a distancia en geociencias y actualmente contribuye al proyecto sociocultural Estrella, apoyando acciones educativas y comunitarias. Doctora María Antonia García, coordinadora del Comité de Educación de CERPER Internacional, destacada educadora e investigadora en geoinformación. La doctora ha sido fundamental para impulsar la alfabetización geoespacial en América Latina. Su trabajo se enfoca en integrar los sistemas de información geográfica en la educación, desde la primaria hasta la universidad, a través de metodologías y planes de estudios innovadores. Como presidenta del Comité de Educación CERPER, ha liderado la promoción de la percepción remota y los SIC, fortaleciendo la colaboración y la comunidad en la región. Su labor resalta el potencial de las tecnologías geoespaciales para el desarrollo sostenible y la toma de decisiones. Doctora Fabiola Doraceli Yepes Rincón, actual presidenta de CERPER México y vicepresidenta de CERPER Internacional, ingeniera ambiental e investigadora, es una experta en geomática y percepción remota, con más de 120 publicaciones internacionales. Su trabajo se centra en la aplicación de tecnologías avanzadas como LIDAR y drones para impulsar políticas y proyectos que apoyan los objetivos de desarrollo sostenible, la gestión de riesgos, los cambios climáticos y la resiliencia ante el desastre en ciudades. Es actual jefa del Departamento de Geomática de la Universidad Autónoma de Nuevo León y fue galardonada con el Premio Mujer en Tecnología 2024 en la categoría de Medio Ambiente. A todas y todos ustedes, gracias por honrarnos con su presencia y con su liderazgo. We are honored to introduce the distinguished members of our Presidium, representing CELPER, ISPRS, and leading geospatial institutions from around the world. Hoy nos convoca un encuentro excepcional que reúne en un mismo espacio 3 importantes eventos internacionales y regionales de la geoinformación. La 16ª Conferencia de Geoinformation for Disaster Management, dedicada a promover soluciones basadas en geotecnologías para la gestión de riesgo de desastres. El 26º Congreso Nacional CELPER México, pilar de la comunidad mexicana en teledetección, SIG y análisis geoespacial. Y los 11º talleres educativos CELPER de Centroamérica y el Caribe, que fortalecen la formación académica y profesional de nuestra región. La convergencia de estos 3 encuentros reflejan un propósito común: integrar ciencia, tecnología y compromiso social para avanzar hacia ciudades más informadas, preparadas y resilientes. This conference brings together 3 major events, creating a shared platform for science, technology, and capacity building in support of resilience and sustainable development. Asimismo, deseamos reconocer y agradecer profundamente a las instituciones organizadoras que hacen posible este evento, como CELPER Internacional, CELPER México, ISPRS, Geoinformation for Disaster Management, el Comité Permanente de las Reuniones del ICSU para la reducción de riesgos de desastres, las jornadas de educación CELPER para Centroamérica y el Caribe, AEOTEC, la Universidad Autónoma de Nuevo León, a través de la Facultad de Ingeniería Civil y del Departamento de Geomática, y a la Escuela Nacional de Estudios Superiores de la Unidad de Mérida de la UNAM. Su colaboración y compromiso con el avance de las ciencias geoespaciales son fundamentales para la realización de esta conferencia. También expresamos nuestro sincero agradecimiento a los patrocinadores oficiales de este evento, como Star Vision y a MDPI, cuyo apoyo fortalece el fortalecimiento y la proyección de este evento internacional. Muchas gracias por su confianza y su respaldo. We extend our sincerest appreciation to all supporting institutions and to our official sponsors, Star Vision and MDPI, whose contribution make this event possible. Vivimos un momento histórico en que la geoinformación es un componente esencial para la planificación territorial, la gestión del agua, la respuesta ante emergencias y la observación de la tierra. Y como parte de esta ceremonia inaugural y con el objetivo de enriquecer este espacio para la visión de quienes lideran e impulsan este encuentro, invitaremos a cada uno de los distinguidos miembros del Presidium a ofrecer un breve mensaje de bienvenida. Doctora Fabiola Yepes Rincón, tiene usted la palabra, doctora.
Okay. Thank you very much for everybody to be here. Thank you, Dr. Darren Lee. Thank you, Dr. Orhan Altan, Dr. Ilsea Ferreira, Dr. Maria Antonia Cisneros, and of course to all the people in this recinto. We are very happy to meet my first time this conference, the Conferencia of Geoinformación 2025 here in Mérida. This is the first time that here in CELPER, Mexico, we are joining 3 conferences. First, ISPRS Conference of Geoinformation for Disaster Management. Can you hear? Okay. Of course, the Jornada de Educación from CELPER International. And we are very happy because for this event of CELPER Mexico, I think 2 years ago in Baja California, we had this commitment to push our society to try to increase our number of members and try to participate in better possibilities to join these societies. Es un honor dar inicio a esta edición y contar con la presencia de tan distinguidos miembros. Este año marcamos un hito importante, además por las presentaciones orales que van hacia una mejor proyección para la publicación de trabajos en journals como ISPRS o investigaciones geográficas de la UNAM. Con ello fortalecemos no solo la divulgación del conocimiento en México y Latinoamérica, sino que además damos la posibilidad de visibilizar todo el trabajo que hacemos de colaboración, desarrollo para nuestros miembros y asociados. Nos enorgullece compartir que en esta edición tenemos 13 países participando. We have 13 countries participating in this event. We have Australia, Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, Cuba, China, Ecuador, Spain, Mexico, Netherlands, Russia, and Turkey. These are around 60 contributions. Some of them, the majority, around 36, are from graduate students from different universities around the world. So we are very happy for this. This means a lot of us, because many of our members are students, are people that is increasing their knowledge in remote sensing and GIS information. Asimismo, contamos con una participación de aproximadamente, como dije, 86 participantes, y eso es un gran esfuerzo porque podemos contribuir a un evento de alto nivel. También, queridos miembros CELPER, desde nuestro último congreso, como mencioné, en Baja California, CELPER, hace 2 años, teníamos esta intención also to congregate this kind of public and other members from other societies, but also to increase our visibility globally. So we are working in the Cafe Virtual Server. We are having a lot of invitees every month. This last year was difficult for us, but we hope next year we can increase that also. We also asumimos el compromiso de impulsar, como ya dije, estas publicaciones, y we want to share that we are talking to CELPER Argentina, because we don't want that stopping this event and doesn't continue. So we are trying also to continue for the next year in CELPER International in Argentina, in Paraná. Más recientemente, also we have training courses. Tuvimos cursos de entrenamiento. Recientemente, during the last week, el fin de semana pasado, we were having some of these training courses for our members, and I want to thank especially to the training people, to the people that was giving these courses, that are professors from different universities, Azucena Vega, el doctor Jean-François Mas, y por supuesto el doctor Inder Tatecuegua, because they share their knowledge, and this is very important for our students and our members. So we also want to say that for Mexico, CELPER Mexico, we want to keep empowerment, make the empower to the woman. We are keeping all the events that we are doing about this, like the International Women's Day, about what we are doing with this, and obviously all the training people that is participating are women. This is very, very important for, obviously, the students. Mirando hacia adelante, nuestro siguiente paso será consolidar y ampliar también vínculos con la industria, lo cual nos gusta mucho que 2 de nuestros sponsors están aquí presentes el día de hoy, y por supuesto al Dr. Lee y su empresa Star Vision, que tiene un increíble calidad de satélites, y ustedes los van a ver en su plática hoy por la tarde. Es fantástico todo lo que están haciendo. I am so amazed to see what you are doing, and we are very grateful that you are sharing this with Latin America, especially with CELPER Mexico. Thank you so much for being here, and we are really amazed for that. Also want to thank to Sepsis from the UNAM, because they are giving these installations, and obviously this you have seen is a beautiful building, and I hope you are enjoying this beautiful city, Mérida. And of course, welcome to this Congress, because as I said, Mexico is advancing in our mission of training, academic dialogue, and of course, new collaborations with these universities, and we reaffirm our commitment on empower women, and new collaborations as new institutions in China. From the Universidad Autónoma de Nuevo León, the CELPER México, y el Departamento de Geomática, and together with all the staff that is here, with my students and collaborators en el Departamento de Geomática. Muchas gracias por estar aquí y voy a dar la palabra para que el resto de los presentes puedan emitir su opinión.
Muchas gracias, doctora. Pues le cedemos la palabra a la doctora María Antonia García. Adelante, doctora, con su mensaje.
Buenos días a todos. Buenos días a todos. Es un honor para mí encontrarme formando parte de este presidium, acompañada de estas distinguidas personalidades de otras latitudes y nuestros compañeros mexicanos, pero sobre todo encontrarme entre ustedes nuevamente, a quienes agradezco su presencia. Comentarles que es la segunda vez que las jornadas de educación de teledetección y sistemas de información espacial para Centroamérica y el Caribe se celebran en México. Esta será la 11ª edición de las jornadas y es un espacio que sin duda impulsa el aprendizaje y la colaboración en torno a herramientas esenciales para comprender y gestionar mejor nuestros territorios. La teledetección y los sistemas de información espacial nos permiten monitorear fenómenos climáticos, planificar ciudades, proteger los recursos naturales y tomar decisiones basadas en datos confiables. Pero su verdadero valor surge cuando quienes trabajamos en la región contamos con la formación necesaria para aplicarlas de manera efectiva. Por esto, estas jornadas son tan importantes. Aquí fortalecemos capacidades, compartimos experiencias y construimos redes que siguen dando frutos mucho después de que los eventos terminen. En un contexto de crecientes desafíos, es fundamental que estos espacios no solo continúen, sino que sigan expandiéndose, desarrollándose y que en las próximas ediciones se incorporen más universidades e instituciones científicas de nuestros países. Agradezco a quienes hicieron posible este encuentro y los invito a todos a mantener viva esta iniciativa porque nuestro desarrollo sostenible depende de la educación y de la capacidad de observar, entender y cuidar nuestro entorno. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias, doctora. Doctor Orhan Altan, please.
Thank you very much, dear colleagues, dear friends. Thank you very much once more again to inviting me to be with you to this beautiful city of Merida. And I think Latin America and the Caribbean, they deserve this geoinformation technology very much, because when we speak about disasters, we differentiate in general in two categories. It is natural disasters and also man-made disasters. And Latin America and Caribbean has both of them. There are several, earthquakes along the Chile, along the fault lines, which spreading the north from Alaska to the Chile and to the South Pole. And Chile was one of the devastating earthquakes several years before, 2 times. But there's several countries in Latin America learned very much to cope with the management of the disasters. And this is something what the world has to learn from the Latin American countries, and especially not directly from Haiti. I have to say Haiti was one of the devastating earthquakes which the humankind has had. Fortunately, more than 250,000 people died at the earthquake. Let us say that this continent, the subcontinent, and the Caribbean need these geoinformation technologies, and with all this scientific advances and technologies what the geoinformation provides for disaster risk reduction, it's very important that we cannot manage disaster. This is not disaster management, actually. This is, from my understanding, a false mentioning. Maybe we should change it in the first, later, this to the DRR and instead of management. And therefore, I'm very grateful that we can show some good examples, how the international community, how the international scientific, let's say, cooperation can cope with the disaster risk reduction. And this is very important that, especially which I mentioned for this subcontinent. Thank you very much.
Doctora Ilsea Santos Ferreira, the floor is yours, doctora.
Buenos dias a todos. Good morning, everyone. As a president of CELPR International, it's a true pleasure to be here with you in this beautiful city. Mérida greets us with history, culture, and a warmth of its people. An ideal environment to learn, collaborate, and strengthen our international community in geoinformation. I would like to express my sincere appreciation to Fabiola Yepes Rincon for the invitation and for her outstanding leadership, a driving force behind many important initiatives, such as CELPR International, CELPR Mexico, and Geoinfromación Group, among others. Thank you, Fabiola, for your vision, commitment, and generosity. This event is especially meaningful because it brings together three major conferences in one place. Three geo-conferences united here, working together in support of Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction and Sustainable Development Goals, reinforcing the essential role of geoinformation in addressing global challenges. I'm also delighted that this conference includes CELPR Educational Workshop, the Jornadas para Educación. Education is, without a doubt, the area closest to my heart. It's through education that we inspire new generations, build capacity, and ensure that geoinformation continues to advance in service of our societies. I wish all of us an enriching and productive conference. May these days foster new ideas, meaningful exchanges, and collaborations that strengthen CELPR and the entire geospatial community in our region. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doctora Ferreira. Dr. Orhan?
Yeah. In some excitement, I don't know why, I forgot to mention something, which is very important for the GI4DM series. GI4DM started after the Indian Ocean tsunami in 2004. And maybe you know this 2024. There was a very, 2004. Yes, it was a very big disaster and destroyed some parts of the Thailand and also some parts of the other islands, neighboring islands, and caused more than 200,000 deaths. After this, a very important person, and I say always to her, Mother of GI4DM. Mother of GI4DM is sitting in front of this row left of me, Dr. Sisi Zlatanova. And she organized, after this event, the first one in Delft. And I was also there. Then afterwards, it was followed by the Commission 4 of the ISPRS in Goa as a working group. But later on, there were several meetings of GI4DM in Prague, in different continents. And I was lucky to organize two of them in my country. I'm coming from Turkey, and organized two times. This was really, I was very happy that two times Professor Lee was the keynote speaker in my organizations. Thank you very much, Professor Lee. He is the great supporter for geoinformation for the disaster risk reduction and an excellent speaker. You will benefit from his speech, I'm sure. And thanks a lot. Last year in Berlin, we discussed this, and Sisi, the mother, agreed, so that we organized this here in this beautiful city, and we are here, and we are grateful for organizing it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Orhan. Dr. Darren Lee, the floor is yours, please.
Okay. Yeah. Distinguished guests, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm very glad to come here again. I remember first time I came to Mexico to Cozumel. Second time with the children and my wife to visit Cancun. The third time I work in Campeche for the Indonesian digital cultural heritage with the Mexico friends over there. This time we came here to Marina for the Geoinformation 2025. I'm very glad. I will talk about something. We are living in the real cyberspace, this real space, but we can work on the cyberspace, digital space. In that case, we need photogrammetry, remote sensing, GNSS, also geoinformation system. And from beginning, we are doing 2D GIS. Then we move to the 3D GIS, digital twin, to make the physical space, everything put into the digital cyberspace. In the cyberspace, we can use in the big data and the cloud computing, also artificial intelligence to help us to maintain the real world, to improve the living quality, to support the sustainable development of the earth. That's the reason we should work harder. And we come here with my Chinese delegation, and we will launch more satellites to such task. And also afternoon, I will give my keynote about how can we use the geoinformation technology. Even I said this is the work together with the artificial intelligence. We are doing temporal spatial intelligence. Let us understand the real world, and also let us to use the digital solution to solve any problem in the world. We can produce the automatic, intelligent, smart harbor, smart factory, smart agriculture, the farmer, any system we can do to do the artificial intelligence method to help us. I will talk this afternoon. This again, I would like to thank our host to invite us to come here from China to Mexico, to these very beautiful cities. And I will talk afternoon more about my ideas. How can we use temporal, spatial intelligence to help people to do the sustainable development goal? That's my talk. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lee. Muchas gracias a cada uno de los distinguidos miembros del Presidium por sus palabras y su liderazgo. A continuación, y para iniciar nuestras actividades académicas, tenemos el honor de recibir la conferencia magistral del Dr. Orhan Altan, quien compartirá con nosotros una reflexión profunda sobre la gestión del riesgo de desastres y el papel estratégico de la geoinformación. We now begin our academic program with the keynote lecture delivery by Dr. Orhan Altan.
Dear friends, dear colleagues, esteemed speakers, as I mentioned here before, I want to speak about a very important issue which I am seeing with one of these major Okay. I think now it is much better. I think I should sit down here. Do it. Here.
Just for the interference.
Please? Wonderful. Okay. Sorry for this trouble. This is a mini, not disaster, a mini occurrence. And I'm going to speak about my experiences on the disaster risk reduction group. And also I will speak about what we have done in the past. Disaster risk reduction is a very important issue. It is why the disasters are increasingly in many spaces. There are many disasters, and we have to be prepared by mitigation and after disaster for response and recovery. And then the most important thing, disasters will happen every time. We cannot avoid, especially natural disasters, but we have to cope with the natural disaster by building resistant societies in global development. And also in this context, as I mentioned here before, international cooperation is a very effective tool to reduce the disasters management. And many countries have already coped with the disaster resistance societies, and on their political agenda, this is a very, very important as a sustainable development, disaster risk reduction, and it gives you a better quality of living for the society, and especially by use of the new geospatial technologies and their successful usage in daily life, it will be a very important in order to cope with the disaster management issues. And disaster management can use several technologies, including drones, satellites, or digital maps, but we have to use them in a proper way. And this is the way how I mentioned you to do international cooperation. This is the Joint Board of Geospatial Information Societies. These societies are IEEE, Geosciences Remote Sensing Society, International Association of Geodesy, International Cartographic Association, FIG, Fédération Internationale de Géomètre, Geographical Union, Map Industry, CODATA, ISDA, and of course the International Society for Photogrammetry and Remote Sensing, where I was once the president, and the IUGG, Geodesy, Geophysics, and the OSGeo. All these are all these are the societies who form the geospatial societies collaboration at the UN, and there is a thematic network of UN GGIM. And these societies made several successful cooperation examples. UN GGIM, Geospatial Societies, the Joint Board of Geospatial Societies is one of the three networks which I mentioned to you in the cooperation examples. And they have produced, this is the example where I'm very happy that one of the co-authors of this publication, which we have made public in the 100 years of the International Society of Photogrammetry and Remote Sensing in Vienna of 4th of July, 2010. And please take a photo of this slide. I really recommend you. There are examples of geoinformation technologies, very successful applications of geoinformation technology all over the world. And these anthologies are being mentioned by different authors and edited by me, Rocket Barkos, Piero Boccardo, and by Cici Zlatanova, and mentioned by the UN as an example to the UN members. Please use geoinformation technology for disaster risk reduction. These are showing you the best examples, what you can learn from these best examples. And the preface of this booklet was written by the Secretary General, Secretary of Margaret Wallström, who was responsible in United Nations as this. And the IS publication, as this publication is being supported by the IS as a cited publication. And it shows the value of the, and gives you, this is being supported by the United Nations Office, UN OSA of Outer Space Affairs. And there are different applications, different types of applications, and the US does storms in Haiti, earthquake damage assessment, in Sudan, refugee camps and how they are distributed, in Italy, volcanoes and risk management. There was a volcano eruption in Italy at the time, in Reda. And in Germany, there were several landslides, how the landslide management have used the geospatial technology. In Hungary and on Greece, there were two different applications of tunnel monitoring and also alarming of the tunnels by geospatial. In India, megacities and monitoring. This was a very excellent interview. And from China, we have an excellent example of the Wenchuan earthquake, which happened in 2008 in China, where they used the earthquake relief support. This was in 2008, in May 2008, and I can remember that it was just before, 1 month before the Olympics, where there happened a very devastating earthquake in Wenchuan. And I can remember that Vice President of China has introduced us to his audience and said, without your technology, we couldn't cope with the aftermath of this Wenchuan earthquake. Thanks a lot. And this was one of the greatest achievements in my life, that to have been in the audience of the vice president of a big country and also having have some just appreciation to our technology, etc. Where Professor Lee, of course, was present and made a big, let's say, applause by the president. And there were here some examples from the floods in Sumatra. And this was, in detail, it was shown how the floods in Sumatra helped the geospatial technology to solve. The another one is to show the stakeholder assessment in an earthquake for the relief actions. And this is very important. Relief actions need a timely response, not only timely. Space is a very important parameter. Time and space plays an important role in relief actions, and this is one of them which we have to consider in space technology. And this is in order to inform the governments on the disaster management experts, and also in order to reduce the impact of these disasters, the Joint Board of Geoinformation Societies and ICSU GeoUnions have published another booklet, which has been used for showing the possibilities and advances of the geospatial technology. It is the value of geoinformation for disaster risk management. It shows when you use geospatial technology, it you save money. This shows this publication use, and this was not written by the geospatial technologists. This is written also as co-authored by an economic professor from the University of Wageningen in the Netherlands, and he made the evaluation of the value when you use this management. And on the picture is our good friend Alik Zadeh. He was the person who represented Joint Board at the ceremony in Vienna, UN OSA, for the members of the UN, and this was his picture several years before, 2011. He produced this in 2011, and it is almost 14 years ago. He was very young, of course. Is he coming? Okay, it's a pity because he's a very well-known speaker and also a very well-known academician. And I am leaving this, of course, my presentation to you. Please send these 2 slides to your members, to all CEDPER members. It will give you, I am sure, an example of the use of geospatial technologies and how you can use it in different examples in order to convince your, let's say, decision makers, your governments, your politicians, etc., then show this publication. Show this publication and tell them UN has suggested that we use this technology and then we save the money of the government, we save the money of the people of our country. And here is the UN OSA and the UN OSA chief and several Geoinformation Society presidents at the launch in Vienna at the Geoinformation. They And the other one is ISG GeoUnions. What is the ISG GeoUnions? ISG GeoUnion is a coalition of different academies and one of them is the International Scientific Council. International Scientific Council is a global network of all academies, and its vision is to be the fundamental science voice for the global society, International Science Council, where all countries with their scientific unions, with their scientific societies are participate to this one. Here, the GeoUnions are participating to this conference. And we are coming to the ISC GeoUnion Standing Committee on Disaster Risk Reduction, where I am chairing. And this is the terms of references of our, and it says that we have to be aware, and we make to aware all the societies, all the governments, all the decision makers to support the Sendai framework for disaster risk reduction and to cope with the societal need and to address the gap between the pandemic days to understand the disaster risk reduction and the society at large, so that the society understands the possibilities of the committee members are all. I am chairing this not anymore. There is a new chair. This is the latest one. The new chair is Annika Braun from Germany. And there are several unions who are participating, of course, including the GI4DM mother, Sisi Zlatanova. And from China, there are Yang Dang as secretary. The headquarters of this committee is in China, in Beijing, at the University of Civil Engineering in the new university. And this is the website of the committee. Please go to this website, and I think that Fabiola will be happy to distribute this webpage to the SELPER members. Please do it. And there are several actions on this webpage. There were several occurrences of this webpage. And as you know, on the left side image is the presidential palace of Haiti before and after the earthquake. And the middle image is a house, a building, and sitting on different soil conditions and slipped to the weak part of the soil. It is, we call it liquefaction. The soil become like a liquid, and therefore it skips to then. And this is a very interesting one. You see here. Can you understand why these columns are hanging here? These columns? There were, here, there was another building. And this, during the construction of the second building, the first building was until this height, and then they built another floor over two buildings. And here the construction hanging from the floor as the first one collapsed and the other one, let's say, columns of it is hanging, and some very interesting occurrences can happen in disasters. And here we see that we have been published several policy briefs to the government, to the decision makers, including meteorological observation and other data using on the sharing the data, not for yourself. Share the data sharing is a very important issue because disaster is not respecting the boundaries, state boundaries. These are cross-boundary occurrences. And the other one is that we have to cope with the waterways and channels so that they keep themselves and open and clear, so that the urgency of the waterways should be just intact. And during the pandemic, we issued a policy brief that the vaccination should be free for everyone in the world. And then, as I mentioned, for cooperation, the transdisciplinary approach is very important. Not only transdisciplinary, I mean not only technical sciences, also social sciences are very important, so that you use social sciences in your agenda so that you spread your technology and commit to the acceptance by the society. And this is the actions which I have mentioned to you before. And we have contributed to the UN agenda on the Global Platform for Disaster Risk Reduction meeting conference in GP 2022 by organizing several sessions. And GIPODM is organized in different countries, as I see. This is which one from a slide from Sydney, I suppose. And so many countries participated to this. And we have contributed as a committee to the core data by our applications, core data in 2022, and said this is a very important issue that we have to cope with on the objectives and session plan of the COP 2022. And here we have organized also the Beijing conference together with it. And then we have had a peer-reviewed publication of all members and from the magazine of the MDPI on the sustainability. This is an indexed publication. And also, this was the picture from Bella. And this picture is the reason why we are here. Thank you, Fabiola, for organizing this event. And now we are here in Belém. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for sharing your technology with us all the way around. Okay, thank you.
Sí, bueno, okay. Okay, we start the Q&A session. So